Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. Got two people laughing again. I'm your host, JC. With me is my beautiful wife, Tina.
Hi guys.
Over here we got Tommy.
Yo.
Over there we got Mike.
What's up?
Hashtag I'm Tommy. I'm back.
He's back.
In my
Man,
spot.
I didn't take your seat because I wanted to. They made me sit there.
Whatever. I'm back.
You
I'll
had
bend
fun
this
there.
piece.
It's
Fine.
because
Word.
It's because I couldn't sit on that side because that's not my good side.
Whatever.
This
You don't have a
Lefty
bad
for
side.
life.
Babe. We went over this. We went over this. You don't have a bad side. But
That was so sweet, by the way. I said all when I was watching.
yes. Anyway, follow our Twitter account at CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. And if you're interested in sponsoring us, we probably won't say no. So email us at ccg.wrestlecast@gmail.com. The address is way up there.
Up there.
Now, today
Thumbs up
we
and
are
likes.
recapping Ring of Honor 17th anniversary pay-per-view show.
That went nothing like I thought it was going to for the most
As
part.
Mike mentioned, he sat over here where Tommy was last week. We'll see if that brought him some good juju as far as Ring of Honor goes, because Tommy's the Ring of Honor expert, as we know.
Apparently, it did.
Apparently. Yep. Let's talk
I don't want to
closer
spoil
something.
anything.
But,
Man, I
No, I
sucked.
don't want to spoil anything.
all right, not going to spoil anything. All right.
I did okay.
So,
2019 is not a good year for me for picking matches.
we'll be kind of recapping that, going over the show, give our WrestleCast ratings, and then talking about, I guess, kind of a controversial topic that's come up recently.
Yeah.
So, we'll get
I'm
into
keeping
that.
my mouth shut.
Ice cream for breakfast.
Yes or no?
Yes.
You be the judge.
I'm
So,
gonna say yes.
yes. We'll start with the first match of the night, Marty Scurll versus Kenny King. We all picked Marty Scurll. We all got that right. It wasn't that we were following Tommy on that one. I think we all just figured Marty Scurll was going to win.
They're
That was
following me.
that was the, no. That was the
I'm
one-
kidding. I'm kidding.
That was the one that I like. I know that guy,
Yeah, she knows that guy. That's right. She did know him. So,
so I picked him.
And this is what I said to them during the preview. I think I kind of am happy Marty didn't go to AEW. I'm liking how he's flourishing by himself with Villain Enterprises.
It's
I
been
think
pretty
yeah.
good.
I
It has
think
been
I think he's getting more of a chance to shine. Not that he wouldn't shine with the Elite, but I just think this he's getting to do his own thing right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it was kind of a double-edged sword too, though, because
Yeah.
I think being added to Bullet Club and being part of being the Elite really obviously raises.
Yeah,
profile.
that's true.
But now that he has that,
Yeah.
now he has some time on his own in ROH. So I think it's good. For
Yeah.
him.
yep. Now, Mike, of course, last week was wearing the Jeff Cobb T-shirt. So we had the TV Championship next. This week you're wearing what, Joe?
Joe.
Joe.
Tina
Tina is wearing AJ Styles.
I think it was his first shirt, right?
Yes,
That was his very first
yeah, because I have that
shirt.
shirt. Yes,
WWE.
I had to buy
The
it.
one the pre-order sold out in like
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't get the first go around. I had to wait.
We did. Got two of them.
Was that the Joe shirt that got sold out too?
That might have been.
That was a recent
Oh,
one,
that was
right?
a
Yeah,
recent
yeah.
one.
Because
But
he did have a sellout
But his
shirt.
first shirt was a solid.
Yeah, it
also.
was-
His first NXT one was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tommy's rocking.
Tamatanga?
No, and I won't say the word on the
0 F's given.
given. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not said on the shirt either. So.
Yeah,
That's true.
of course not.
And of course, I'm wearing Finn Balor's one of his first NXT shirts.
It's got cat hair all over it.
He's got cat hair. I had to take my flirkin up and put him away. So he's
Flirkin.
That
but yeah.
flirkin cat. Yeah, that's what my shirt says. No flirkin given. You know.
No flirt. Okay.
Whoa,
fine.
whoa! Spoilers, guys. Maybe some people haven't seen.
What the French
Captain
toast?
Marvel.
Gosh, calm down.
Like if you haven't seen Captain Marvel by now, I think it's been 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no more
That's the
excuse.
standard. No more excuses. All right.
Yeah.
No
This
more
is-
flirking excuses.
Yes.
There you go.
Anyway, back to the show.
It's too much
Jeff
language
Cobb
in this.
defending against Shane Taylor. Mike and Tommy got this right picking Cobb. Tina and I picked Shane Taylor. As we figured, as we said, there's always one surprise title change. We thought this was going to be it, but unfortunately,
No, I just didn't know who Jeff Cobb was.
okay.
And for the record, the surprise was coming. Don't
yeah, we'll
get it
get to
twisted.
that.
Oh
But
my God.
one note I wrote down there's this feels like it's now the title for heavyweights. Is you really kind of feel that with this match too. It was
Yeah.
two big guys who. By
Well-
the way, Shane Taylor lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
85 pounds
Yeah.
lighter, as they mentioned. So,
And still, I for full disclosure, did not watch the entire full pay per view, but I saw all the highlights. Him doing Tour of the Islands twice
Yes.
to Shane Taylor because the first time he kind of didn't get it full.
Amazing.
Damn impressive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeff Cobb's ability to repeat moves on bigger guys is amazing. And also, it's funny you said like the TV titles that like have the heavyweight belt. I think that's hilarious because to me the world title's never really been a heavyweight belt unless Joe had it.
Yeah.
because
he was like a small heavyweight.
Yeah.
It was like he was
the
a big
only
guy.
super heavyweight who's ever had the belt was Takeshi Morishima. And other than that, they've kind of been a bunch of like a lot of light heavyweights have been world champion ROH.
Well, that's kind of ROH's thing. So,
That's true. But I find it funny because Shane Taylor's Twitter, because he posted this on his Facebook, was blowing up with people complimenting him about, oh, he's so great. Oh, and I put on Shane's Facebook. I said they're just saying things that I've been saying for like the past 7 years. It's nothing I haven't like. I've been saying this about Shane Taylor.
In our defense, we'll get to that. I was having that ready.
Yeah.
Hipster Tommy.
We've
right.
known him for a while.
Yeah,
That's true.
So he got to, like I said, he was going to showcase what he could do on a national stage, and he damn sure did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he really did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Woman of Honor Championship match. Mike and I got this right, picking Mayu Iwatani to retain. Tina and Tommy would
We ride or died.
ready to die.
I did. I will always ride or die with Kelly Klein. I don't care.
I didn't know the other chick. And I like Kelly Klein a lot. So
That's fair.
Well, when they
double.
were building it up, you kind of thought it would happen, but Mayu Iwatani
yeah.
stuck it out, man. Great match. She's really eked it out, and I'd heard Kelly Klein had like an emotional promo after the match too. So I'm curious to see who's next. Who's next going to be the challenge for it?
Who knows?
So this is where the show gets crazy. So those 3 matches were in the first hour. It's awesome. Not a lot of promos in between. Like, okay, match is over. Let's get right to the next one. Match is over. Get right to the next one.
And actually, one thing they've been doing, like I told these guys, they did the San Antonio show when they were here. They're doing the New Japan thing where, like, usually even the winners don't go right back up the entrance ramp. They have them go off to the side to kind of keep the show moving. And I'm like, that's great. Yeah, more wrestling. Let's do that.
But we did get our first promo.
Isn't that what WWE doing too? Like they're starting to like start the music before
for the next person.
They're on TV, but not on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm here
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean TV. They're trying to make.
Yeah, they're trying
Yeah.
to speed it up a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. We got a promo thinking, okay, we're going to get Lifeblood versus the Kingdom next. And out walks Matt Taven.
Which shocked me. I was like, okay, we're doing this now, I guess.
Yeah, and when he came out, you all were like, "Is he doing a promo?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And
And
then,
he calls out Lethal, and we're like, okay, I
Yeah.
guess they're doing this. We figured this was going to be the main event, but I figure, okay, with this, they're probably putting the Briscoes on last.
Which makes sense.
You know, they're really hyping
Yeah.
that up. Okay, and this match started as high intense. It's like, okay, dude, this is awesome. I mean, you said, or at least your note said, you felt like this was going to be the Kingdom's night.
Yeah.
And I'll get right to that. So you're the only one that picked Matt Taven. Everyone else
I
here
was.
picked Jay Lethal.
I was.
No code of honor. They went at it.
They did.
Yeah, this was a
Ride or
marathon.
die.
Yeah, right or die. 30, 40 minutes in, I wrote, man, marathon match. And then eventually the Kingdom got involved, Jonathan Gresham. Then you were like, oh, that's what Jonathan Gresham looks like.
I still don't know what he looks like.
Yeah. And Lifeblood got involved.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, there's Gresham. He got attacked on his knee. So you figure, okay, I guess that match is not going to happen the way they set that
Yep.
up. And then the time limit hit.
Yeah, we had tables,
What,
we
a
had ladders.
15-minute time limit?
60.
60 minutes.
60.
Come on, guys, go with me. Build it up.
No,
You're like
15 minutes.
15, no. 30
No,
minutes?
30.
No.
Okay, you gotta-
An hour.
We got to work on our communication.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
60
Probably
minutes.
plan ahead of time.
Which, for
Oh,
one
gosh.
thing, if you're going to have a time limit, keep it consistent. Announce it before every match because they hadn't done that at all the whole show.
Yeah.
They didn't announce it before this match unless it's like an understood thing. Even in New Japan, they announced the time limit before every single
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing that was missing because they used to announce it all the time.
Maybe they didn't want to announce it, so they didn't think that people were gonna
Expect to see it.
expect
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah, but if you announce it like consistently, like New Japan announces
Well,
it every match.
But didn't Tommy say that it's like kind of like a standard thing for them?
It is, but they have announced it every match before.
Oh,
So
okay.
I guess maybe they fell out of the practice. I guess I don't know, but
Or
they
maybe because he called out Jay Lethal, they just didn't do it.
yeah, it's possible.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think about that because he just kind of came out there and just challenged him. That's actually a good point. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
that's possible. So.
Yeah.
Now, during
Thank
the
you.
the course of this match, they did announce that Jeff Cobb will take on Will Ospreay, title for title at the G1
Jesus
Supercard.
Christ!
That's going to be amazing.
Yes,
We're
we're basically getting 2 title for title matches.
and I can confidently tell you, I legitimately do not know who's going to win that match. because first of
You're
all,
gonna have to pick someone.
Yes.
I might have to recuse myself on that match because
No,
in
you're
the
the
New
expert
Japan
in both of those promotions. You're picking someone.
in the New Japan Cup, I don't know if anyone knows this. Will Ospreay, who's actually technically still a junior heavyweight, he actually got Lance Hoyt up for the Stormbreaker, which is a move where he gets the guy on his shoulder and spins them over for a neck breaker, and it's like, how, why?
Yep.
So he can maybe do that to Jeff Cobb. God help his shoulder, but anyway.
So you could probably do that to Lance Archer then if you ever.
Why are you trying to antagonize this like so much? Like I want to get married.
you-
Because it's too easy.
Do you want to go to New Japan when they come to town?
Well,
Or-
yes.
Okay.
That-
We're trying to help you out. Work with us here.
Fine, that's
I'm
fair.
sure Lance can get you in.
Yes, that's fair.
Again, chokeslammer 10.
Probably 10.
So anyway, this,
go ahead.
on our match of the night poll, this was the overwhelming winner. 73% picked this match as match of the night. The only other match
It
to
was
get votes was Briscoes versus Villain Enterprises, which we'll get to later.
I mean,
I think-
that match was awesome.
I think as far as hour-long ROH World Title time limits, this is like only one of 6. 2 of them were Joe and Punk.
yeah.
Lethal had
The
another one. I
first two
think.
Joe
Are you talking
Punk
about like unofficial pay-per-view shows?
Well, like for the ROH World Title, like the time limit matches.
In general, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they ever did those like at house shows or non-tape shows? I feel like that's something they might have done back then, but I don't know.
Well, well, Joe and Punk. The Joe and Punk matches were only the DVD tapings because they didn't have like pay per views.
Yeah, they didn't have. That's right. They didn't have.
This
TV
is what
distribution, right?
back when like only time you saw ROH was if you were there live or if you got the pay per views later, and
Or you
that
found it on the internet.
yeah, and that's when I was buying all their DVDs at that point. I still have like pretty much most of them.
You're
And-
why they stayed in business.
Hey, I'll take that. JC said one time, I'm the reason they keep coming to San Antonio. I will wear that as a
That I
badge of
believe.
honor.
You are the reason, dude. They knew who you were when you walked in.
Works for me.
Who's the guy that got into WrestleCon, Ring of Honor shows, WrestleMania weekend for free? Twice.
Who's that man?
You
Okay.
got
Who's
soul.
Okay,
What?
I said you got soul.
Oh, gosh.
works for
So,
me.
yeah.
But I'll
Tommy's
take it.
famous.
He's
I try.
famous. Oh my God, he's famous. Anyway, after
the
the
famous
match,
guy in
we
the
thought,
show.
okay, what are they going to set up Marty Scurll? Because Marty Scurll's supposed to take
Take
on
on the winner.
at
Yeah.
G1 Supercard. Well, he came out,
This was so
stole
great.
the belt, and just walked away.
Yeah, it was like, what
Villain.
just happened?
I was like, that was the best promo ever because he said nothing and simply just walked up with the belt.
Yes.
I loved every second.
And then you just see like they cut to like Jay Lethal. And Jay Lethal's just like,
What?
what?
Matt Taven looked heartbroken. Lethal was like pissed off. He was like,
Wait,
"What
what just
my
happened?
freaking
Stole my
belt?"
stuff.
Go get my belt. What the hell?
Really playing up the villain gimmick, I guess. But
Yeah.
we did find out a couple days later.
Oh God,
The
dude.
match at G1 Supercard is a ladder match between
Jeez.
Jay Lethal, Matt Taven, and Marty Scurll.
Jay Lethal, right or die.
I know you're picking Lethal. That's the easy one for you.
This is also another hard one for me. I gotta
Ride or
really think
die.
about this. The closer we get to it, I'll make a decision. But that's a hard one for me.
Right or die.
Now,
Calm down, Dominic.
what we got next was a segment that I will call "This Man is arguably the biggest and best heel in wrestling today."
I can't disagree with you at all. This,
Talking about Bully Ray.
this
Oh,
segment
yeah.
was so
You saw-
good.
I don't know if you saw this in your highlights or not, but
Yeah.
Mike, did you see this promo? First of all, he came out and did a promo with Mega Ran.
I was okay.
Yeah, and my buddy Chicken Wing, yes, we call him Chicken Wing. He knows who Mega Ran is, and he was asking me about it the next day. And I was like, yeah, he came out, and it was a funny promo because I bet you, Bully Ray's asking, I bet you're a gamer guy. You played all these games. I bet you picked Bubba Ray, right? No, actually, I picked Devon.
And then his homeboy said,
Wow.
"Testify." And I was like, "Yo, this got real so fast."
That was awesome.
It was great. I legitimately loved that
But
segment.
no matter what, I mean, he said this in podcasts and interviews. Whatever it is, no matter how this crowd is, you need to get them to hate you one way or another. And he's
Yeah.
a master of that.
He is.
Even telling off little kids.
Yeah.
Go for it.
That was so funny, man.
So he put out a open challenge for
He-
the garden, right?
He
Yes.
put a challenge for
But
a New
he-
York
he
Street
said
fight.
Anybody in the business.
Anyone in the business, but he specifically
Specifically
pointed
said
somebody
somebody
out, but he didn't say who.
He
But he
said
says
I'm
he knows
talking
who
to
you are.
you, Punk. And I was like, I don't think he's talking to CM Punk.
There's
but
no
he's
way he's talking to CM
I have
Punk.
one
Talking
guess.
to AJ Lee.
First off, I'll get y'all.
Intergender match.
I'll get all of y'all's guesses. So who do y'all think it would be?
I'm guessing Flip Gordon because he just got cleared.
Okay,
That's what I'm guessing.
Mike.
Flip Gordon. I really don't know.
Copying Tommy's notes.
Devon? No, he's working with WWE.
No.
No, yeah, I honestly.
Do you have a guess, Tina?
Jonathan Gresham.
I'm thinking, hold on. I'm like, No, I got nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
I'm just gonna go with the wild card and say CM Punk. I don't know.
Christian.
Flip Gordon's a good pick.
Christian,
but
yeah.
I feel like they cleared that up at Final Battle. Like that was.
Dude, I forgot.
My
that fast
guess,
about
and you got to really think about this one. Who has some New York ties? Legendary
Who'd you say?
Taz.
Oh, Taz. Yeah, that's right.
You did say that, and actually, that would be cool because
That would be
Our
awesome.
friend Tez.
I
Oh, Tez.
No. Well,
Man,
Taz, if you want to take on Bully Ray.
man, Tez, Bully Ray
Oh,
hates you that
Taz.
much?
I think I don't know
That
what
would be
Taz is
interesting.
doing nowadays.
He's just doing his podcast.
calling
This is-
people tomatoes.
This is
and-
podcast. Like I think he would be the prime guy. New York ties, New York street fight. And it's both of their backyards. They're both in New Yorkers.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Jericho.
Interesting.
Jerry.
Is
It would be a good rematch from their ECW
I'm just
days.
randomly
in all
saying
seriousness
names.
though, Taz wasn't in. Like he didn't retire because of injury, did he?
He did actually. Well, not injury per se. Like he was injured, had to retire. But no, his neck had been bothering him for a while, so he just.
So a street fight could kind of make it a little bit
Yeah.
easier to do.
I mean-
they can work safe.
Yeah.
with street fights. They know how to handle weapons.
and at this
and
point, he
toys.
hasn't wrestled in like
That's
God
true,
knows how
yeah.
many years. So I mean, there's been no of repeated trauma. So he could probably like get one good more match out
Hey.
of himself.
It's a better guess than what Tommy said. So I mean, no. Let me rephrase that. Than my guess of what Tommy said. Okay. Not that your guess was bad. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that.
Is that your phone?
Yeah.
Accepted.
All right. Anyway,
How about what's his face?
Yes. Vacant.
yeah, we'll go vacant.
The
No.
Pea Party.
Oh, you mean Joey Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh, ooh,
Did
No, I don't know.
you just say the pea party?
yeah.
The Pea Party. I'm not gonna say the word.
Okay. It sounds worse that way. Honestly.
Why does it sound like the Pea Party sounds worse?
Okay, then never mind.
You're the only one that's
If you don't know
thinking
who
it sounds
Joey Ryan
worse.
is by now, Google it. Kids, get your
If
parents'
you-
permission.
Yeah, seriously. If you don't know who Joey Ryan is by now, wow.
Yeah.
I honestly can't
I
believe
mean,
there's someone doesn't know who Joey Ryan.
I mean, I feel like he was, when he was on the.
Joey Ryan was Bully Ray would be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't
Do
know.
they have a history though?
No, but
Do they
wait.
need a history?
No.
I don't know the way this promo was. You figure
That's
that somebody
true.
has a history with.
And,
Not that I would mind
I mean,
it,
I mean,
as long as we
but
see
I
some
mean,
fluids again.
but Joey Ryan has killed the wrestling business, of course.
Rob Van Dam. No, I'm kidding.
Ooh,
Actually,
That's
that's
not
not
a
a
bad
bad guess.
that is not a bad.
He still
guess.
wrestles,
I just thought about that.
and
Yes.
he's with Katie Forbes. The guy has every freaking thing. I'm sorry, was I better?
Well, if
I
we're
wasn't
just going to
better.
go down ECW, Raven.
I'd be okay with that.
Dreamer.
Yeah.
Dreamer still wrestles.
Man,
Dreamer's
just
got House
throw
of Horror.
every
Spike
ECW.
Dudley.
Oh my god.
D-
That actually wouldn't be bad.
DDP. No, not yoga. DDP.
Not DDP himself.
No,
It's
DDP
Just the yoga.
Just the yoga.
New York City Street Fight with DDP yoga.
Yoga's he's going to stretch
Wait,
him.
he has
He's
the
gonna
yoga
stretch
with
him.
kendo sticks and barbed wire baseball.
There's my
Everyone-
Tina. There's my Tina-ism.
Let's do a diamond cutter stretch. Put your hands up. Come out to the side. And Hulk it up.
And kendo stick.
And there's a Tina-ism.
Oh, no, it's not a teenager.
Would've been
That's
funny-
just a great idea.
Would have
That's
been funny if
great
someone
booking.
like with a kendo stick would have cracked me in
Teenism.
the head right as we said that. That'd be great.
Hi, Lance Archer.
And that's.
Oh, thank God.
That's not a spoiler. No.
That's a reaction. Wait, what?
That is a prediction when you think about
Or
it.
like,
yeah.
or like, I was telling JC, Braun, and I told y'all that Braun Strowman did that promo, and he was like,
If you saw Raw,
it's,
yes.
Yeah.
it's
Instead of a matter
fact of the matter.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He said, "Well, the matter of the fact is," and I was like, "Tina-ism right there."
When Braun Strowman gets going, he tends to almost
Fact
Stein,
of
he
the
tends to
matter.
Steiner it up every now and
Fact of the matter.
Oh my
You know what,
gosh,
Tommy?
it's
The
not
fact
that
of the
bad.
matter is
Oh,
matter of the fact.
matter of the fact. Love it.
Fact of
So,
the matter. Fact of the fact.
on to the wrestling.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Bandido versus Rush.
I could have
Yeah, it's
swore
apparently
I got
not Rush.
Yeah,
It's Roosh.
I could have
My
swore
bad.
I was gonna get this right.
Roosh.
We all got that wrong picking
Yeah,
Bandido.
Tommy, I swore you were
All
gonna get this
copying
right.
Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
Bastard. Anyway,
Y'all
so this
suck.
match showcased Rush
You would
a
think I would have
lot.
known one of them.
Yeah.
They're both Mexican.
Although, honestly,
But-
I like Bandito's entrance better.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
New rule though: any match Dalton Castle is not in,
Oh
he
my
has
God.
to
Oh my-
commentate.
Yes.
Dude,
Best commentator ever.
yo,
I don't know if you heard
Two
it on your
sweaty men.
highlight
I saw
thing.
parts of it. I
Yeah,
heard
but
parts of
he
it.
was
What did
just
he say?
loving.
Two
We're
beefy
here to
men?
watch
Two beefy men, two meaty
in the
men.
ring, meaty men. He was just talking about that the whole time.
and then afterwards he challenged Roosh to a match. Look at you, you're like a mountain of meat. When Dalton Castle retires, and I pray that day is a long way off, If he doesn't become
Oh
a commentator,
my
I will
God.
feel like we have failed in the wrestling business as a whole, as fans too. That man needs to be a commentator.
Whoa there.
My bad.
I'm looking forward to that match.
I have to.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was there a little miscommunication, or like, I guess Roosh is not fluent? Did he respond in a way that made it sound like he wasn't answering, and Dalton had to be like, "So we're having a match" or something? Like, did I?
There was something like that.
So like he spoke in English, and then I guess he
It was
hit
kind
the-
of broken. It sounds like
I
he
feel
didn't,
like he
right?
got to the extent of his English dictionary, and
Yeah.
then just went Spanish for the rest of it.
yeah.
And that's where we looked at Tina to say, "Okay, what do you say?"
Yeah.
And actually, that's literally what we did.
Yeah, and I translated.
Yeah, and he basically said, "I'm going to kick your ass."
Yeah.
He
Long
said,
story
"Tu-
short,
tu
yeah.
madre?"
No, something like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
That's the synopsis.
yeah, pretty much.
Is that the correct word? Synopsis.
Yeah, that is the correct word. Congratulations.
Again,
It is a
Dalton
word.
Castle's insight on
I
beefy
gotta
men.
double check. See,
top
this is why
notch.
Tommy's here. He has to double check my work.
I check all papers.
Now, at this point, we got confirmation. We're getting towards the end of the pay-per-view that Gresham versus Silas Young was canceled due to the Gresham injury. Lifeblood and Kingdom will be
Shocker.
rescheduled another time, and it didn't. That match didn't even happen the next day on the TV taping.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll tell you why.
I'm just laughing at how much, like, I'm sure everyone was cool with it. It's like, I just laugh, like, Lethal and Taven just ate up everybody's side with their
Yeah.
match. It's like, wait.
You know what? I was not angry.
I wasn't either. It was
No,
great.
it was
Yeah.
a classic.
It was amazing.
It was something I didn't think ROH was brave enough to do again in the modern era, to have an hour-long draw, because, I
as
mean,
long
like,
as it was good.
yeah, I mean, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, just nowadays, wrestling fans are so hard to please, and I know, like, they don't play it safe, ROH, but like, they would just want to make everybody happy as they can. And doing an hour-long, draw match with no conclusion can sometimes, make fans angry. Now, in old school ROH, you'd get away with that because it was new and all we had was WWE. So yeah, we were looking for anything else. But then now today, with all the matches that you have, I thought that was a bold move. But the two guys who could pull it off would be Taven and Lethal, so that makes sense.
And unlike any match that's booked as 60 minutes, this one didn't feature a lot of like crazy rest holds or anything like that. Like these guys were going. You
Yeah.
They were kicking
you
each other.
thought it was going to end at some point. Tommy's running to the bathroom like, okay, I gotta go, because it's going to end
Yeah.
at some point, and it's
Yeah.
still going. So
When I came back, yeah, it was still going. Now, to put in this shameless plug, it reminds me of the Dalton Barrett Brown hour-long Iron Man match that I saw just recently, but it was so good. Anyway, moving on.
So our main event, a Vegas street fight.
This was crazy.
Briscoes versus Villain Enterprises. We all picked the
The
Briscoes,
shocker.
and shocking title change every Ring of Honor pay-per-view. This
That
was
was
it.
it.
I couldn't believe it.
Villain
So-
Enterprises.
Does anybody else feel like PCO is somebody who picked himself in a Deadpool?
Yeah,
Like, he tries to kill himself, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
his thing
Yeah.
now?
yeah.
Feels like it.
That's
Yeah.
just like...
He doesn't even put
I-
his hand up for chair shots either.
it's-
Yeah.
I think
Which
I
everybody
think
should
he
do.
realized he's surprised that he's still alive to be wrestler from the 80s and 90s. He's like, hey, I'm still alive. Maybe I can't die. Let me try it.
I feel like... like, he's look, like... Yeah, this crazy shit he pulls off. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, well,
It was nuts.
the fact that he can still wrestle as well as he does at his age is actually the most impressive part about him. Maybe he has a metal plate in his head or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
knows?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Now,
That was the biggest shocker to me. I was like, what?
we didn't see it. We thought we were going to get the Briscoes against
Yeah.
GOD for the Super.
Now, something I read was that someone said, like, does this mean that the Villain Enterprise will face GOD at G1 Supercard? And I said, wait a minute, what do you mean, will they face them? Of course they're going to face them. But
that
then,
was a stipulation, right?
yeah, but the implication is there may be another title match before GOD gets there. I haven't seen one scheduled yet, but it could
might
happen.
happen.
It could happen at the finals for the New Japan Cup. That's when they put out a lot of major stops.
Which is this weekend, right?
This weekend, this
Okay.
Sunday is the finals for the New Japan
Yes.
Cup.
So you're saying that the GOD could have a title match?
Could have a title match
And
for it
then-
and
And
lose.
there's-
Yeah. Who would you? I mean, just being that no more of the groups there. Who would you?
There are a
pick to
couple.
get
There are a couple
Villain
tag teams
Enterprises?
that like. Okay, so who depends on a lot of things. One tag team depends on who makes it to the finals. If Sonata doesn't make it to the finals, Sonata and Evil could challenge. Killer
Didn't they just lose the title not too long ago?
not too long ago, yeah, but they could still get a rematch. They have. I don't think they ever got their rematch.
This isn't WWE. They do get
They
championship
took a rematch, sure.
Killer Elite Squad could they racked up a couple wins as a tag team when they came back recently.
Because wins and losses matter over there, people.
Yeah, they actually do. There were a couple other. There was one other team. Who was I thinking of that like had a couple wins? I think it was like, you know what? I think it was Yeah, actually, I think it was like Yano and Cole Cabana were actually had a couple of wins as a tag team.
But Cabana's still in the tournament too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Does New Japan still have a? They have a working relationship with ROH, obviously.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
What if the Briscoes showed up at the Supercard, won Japan's titles, and faced the Villain Enterprises again?
That's not too far fetched because they have
doubt it.
They have been IWGP Tag Team Champions before. They've won them like twice, I think. So
I don't only say that because I just feel like
That'd be crazy.
that would be crazy.
Briscoes versus God would have kind of been the big match, like we talked about. So if you take both of them out of it,
If they took both of them out of it, they could just schedule the tag match between them anyway. Which is what I'm guessing might happen if God doesn't go in with the belts.
that's true.
That's crazy.
A lot can happen. Just gotta keep an eye on that.
Or knowing New Japan, they'll just schedule for like another one of their bigger shows and just fly the Briscoes out anyway. So they don't care. They have the money.
Now, another thing that happened this weekend, not on the pay-per-view, but you said it was going to be the Kingdoms weekend, the Kingdoms night.
And I was.
It turned out to be Villain Enterprises weekend because
It
the
was.
next night of the TV tapings, they defeated the Kingdom to win the ROH six-man tag team championships.
By the way, for both I thought were going to be throwaway titles, they actually mean a lot when someone wins them now.
Yeah.
Especially when that group holds both the tag titles and the six-man tag titles,
Yeah.
and potentially the Ring of Honor World Championship as well after G1 Super.
Like I said, I think Marty Sane was the best thing that could have happened to
Yeah.
him.
They had big plans for him. So, as far as our pick results, that draw, we're all counting that as a draw. So Tina went 1-4-1.
Terrible.
Tommy and myself went 2-3-1, and Mike, sitting in Tommy's chair, got 3-2-1.
You
3-2-1.
son of a sneech.
You're welcome.
Whatever.
You lint liquor.
Whoa!
What the French
Hey,
toast?
I feel attacked.
Do you remember that commercial?
yes.
That was a great commercial. I love that commercial.
I do not feel like this is a safe space anymore.
That's right, because you're on that side. This is a safe space.
On
got-
to our
I got
WrestleCast
him.
ratings. Jesus. I love this show.
My-
Anyway, we're 0 to 5, 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to December.
It's kind
If
of
you want to compare it to movies,
it's kind of hard to know. It's kind of hard to compare ROH shows to WWE. ROH shows are so much better as
Yeah.
far as the wrestling aspect.
Okay, well, we can. Well, if you want to say it compared to movies, 5 being Scott Pilgrim versus the World, 0 being Mario Brothers.
Oh shoot!
Got Tommy to laugh one way or
Damn.
another, people.
That one got me.
I agree.
Damn.
Gotcha.
I agree with the 0. I feel like there could be other things at 5, but to each our own.
I don't know, but yeah, no. Scott Pilgrim for me would be 5. Yeah,
Yes.
for me.
Fair
I don't know.
enough.
Probably
The
not for you.
perfect geek movie, in my
Maybe
opinion.
for his, for him
was
it would
good.
be. It would be an Avengers movie.
You're welcome, people. I got Tommy to
Are
laugh
we,
one
are
way
we
or another.
just sticking
I just
to?
juiced it up a little bit.
He's just trying to make Tommy laugh. I get that.
I
Yeah,
nailed
that's
it.
true.
But
Nailed
okay,
it.
we'll talk about the rating system later.
Colts.
All right. While Tommy's
Yeah, y'all go
recovering,
first.
Tino, give us your.
No, Tommy, recover because I need to know what grade to give it.
Okay. I'm
You're
good.
going last, Mike. You had the best
I'm gonna
record.
give it a 4.75.
4.75 out of 5.
And you know I'm a hard critic, so
Yeah.
Yes.
that show was awesome. That whole hour match of just Lethal and Taven, I was like literally like on the edge of my seat, just like who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Oh
She
my god!
was so nervous
oh my
as
god.
a lethal mark.
Oh my
too.
god!
Yeah, I was
gonna
Really.
say- I was
She was-
gonna
Oh my
say,
God,
I was
he
like,
kicked
where's
out.
the lethal
Out.
mark? So
He kicked out. I was like, oh my god! And then he like Taven was kicking him, and
Oh,
he
man.
kicked out. I was like, oh my god! Then he did a lethal injection, and then he kicked out. I was like, oh my god! Stop!
Match was over. She like chugged a whole bottle of water. She
I
was just so
did.
exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pretty much did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just that match alone was awesome, and then the tag team match was awesome.
Yeah.
The women's match was great.
Yeah.
Like there's so
Everything.
many good matches. That's why I gave it a pretty high rating. There's maybe one or two that I was like, not as high impact, but
Yeah,
it's-
but
it also has
I
probably.
think they only had 6 matches on this card too.
But to be honest, it's probably also got to do with the fact that I don't know some of them.
that's fair.
You're still
Yeah.
impressed though.
Yeah, I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressed with Bandido and Rouge.
Yes.
See, the thing is with ROH, they have this amazing habit for doing that, for making you fans of people you didn't know before.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when Tyler Black debuted, literally nobody knew who he was. He debuted with Age of the Fall, and they were like, who the freak is this guy? Why is he such a high-profile stable with Jimmy Jacobs and the Necro Butcher, who everyone knew? And he just, like, I felt like he was just tacked on. like a year later, everyone's saying, "Oh, this guy should be ROH World Champion." Ring of Honor. That's why everyone said when Ring of Honor, when everyone left, they said, "Oh, Ring of Honor's done." I was like, "No, they're not."
They always find
This
talent.
is literally never not the first time they've lost all that talent.
Just to kind of connect something to something that was said this past week on WWE television in the AJ versus Orton back and forth.
Yeah.
When Orton said, or maybe it was last week, but talking about AJ being king of the Indies, and AJ's like, "Look at your locker room."
Yeah,
And it's all old ROH guys.
It's all, it is.
Impact too, but a lot of them went through ROH first.
I mean,
The
ROH
business is moving that guy. It's getting more competitive with these guys. So yeah. Tommy, your rating?
I'll give it 4.75 as well. And another thing I was gonna say, for anyone who like me is an old school ROH head, I would say this show is very reminiscent of the old school ROH shows, like Joe versus Punk 2. What was the show? There was one show where the Briscoes and damn it, the Briscoes have wrestled everybody to the limit. Who the hell am I limiting this to? Anytime the Briscoes were mad at somebody over the past 17 years, which by the way was at least once a month.
I was like, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like it had that old school feel. And another thing is, it was to be kind of weird for the Briscoes to be the main event over the world title. But then again, let's keep in mind, this is the Briscoes we're talking about. Out of everyone else who've come and gone from Ring of Honor, the Briscoes are the only two guys who have never really done that. The only time that they've been out or they were injured. And like exactly, and like they probably have the record for the most number of T-shirts of any group in ROH.
I can only imagine being
so.
They signed an extension fairly recently too, right?
Yeah, they did.
They're
I
gonna
mean,
be for the long haul.
I mean, at this point, like when they retire, if there's going to be an ROH Hall of Fame, let's just be honest. They'll be some of the first candidates, like them, Joe, Bryan Danielson, Christopher Daniels, Low Key. They'll be the original. Those are like all the original ROH guys. And like I've said before, Jay Briscoe is like I think the only guy still there from the very first Ring of Honor show. He was there at Era of Honor Begins, and Mark Briscoe was there as his manager at that point because he couldn't wrestle legally. They're the only two guys who were there at the beginning. They're still there now. 17 years. That's a good stretch.
17 years. It's unbelievable. I went 4.5 on this. I love the show as well. I feel like it almost got lost in the shuffle because of G1 Supercard.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple matches I wanted to see on there. I'm surprised they went over 3 hours. I really expect this to be at 3 hours. I was like, I feel like I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
But like
I think
some things here and there. The Marty Scurll match at the beginning was kind of it was okay.
Yeah, that one was kind of okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing with Ring of Honor is like their anniversary show would be like best in the world and be like Final Battle. It would be like their biggest show if they didn't already have something else planned. Like like with a freaking Supercard on the horizon, they're like, oh, let's just make this show the road to that. I mean, it felt
like
years.
it felt like a setup show.
Yeah, they're like, 17 years, fantastic, but we're about to make bank at Madison Square Garden. Let's just get ready for that shit. It's like they're not trying to blow all their money on this one show. It's like, yeah, it's great to be 17 years, but they're about to really make their money in like another month. So yeah, like this. I mean, it's not a bad blow-off show by any means.
No.
So, Mike, your rating?
I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. 4.75.
4.75.
I mean, again, I didn't get to see the whole thing,
Poppy
but
Tommy.
And
the
Tina?
And Tina.
Yeah, both of them. That's right. The bandwagon,
I
not
was
just
technically first.
not the Tommy car.
Wow.
Yeah, but like, I'm really impressed personally, and as a big guy that can go with Cobb.
Jeff Cobb doesn't make any logical sense.
Yeah, and Taylor has and Taylor was really impressive too on his side of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just every match, the hour draw. Like I said, we were talking about some other matches that have kind of gone longer on TV on WWE recently, and like the person at the end who's been through it all seems like they're dead. These two looked like they were still going at the hour mark, ready to hit more moves, and then it was like, oh, it's an hour.
Yeah.
And it's just
You thought they were going to keep going. Like, when was this match going to end? And they didn't even give a warning bell for the end.
Right, I saw that.
Well, actually, for the hour time limits, they very seldom do. Like, okay, so I'm going to keep referring back to this because actually, I highly recommend any fan of wrestling and not just Ring of Honor watch this match. It's Samoa Joe versus CM Punk at the show. The show is called Joe versus Punk 2. That's how much this match was anticipated. It was one of the first matches in years to get Dave Meltzer's 5-star rating. they went the hour time limit. Oh no, wait, there was like a countdown like the last like 15 seconds, I think. And like at the very end, you know how I'm talking about like not like they're so ready to go. No, those two were dead. Like Joe hit the muscle buster at the very end, and Punk rolled away, and Joe was trying to grab him, and the referee hit 0, and he was like, and Joe was like, "What the hell? I went through all that, and they still got away." It was so good. Their trilogy is one of the best series of matches, not just in ROH but in wrestling.
Just in wrestling together.
Yeah.
To this day.
I think even their last match was like 45 minutes before Joe finally.
And it was booked no time limit too.
Yeah, it was
right?
booked no
And
time
they
limit.
didn't
But
make it to 60
yeah,
minutes.
I think because they just like went for it full steam.
Yeah.
And technically he didn't really make Punk tap out. He just made him pass out.
Yeah. That brings our overall rating to 4.6875. Go ahead, Mike.
Just a real quick thing, because we keep talking about old Punk and Joe matches. One day, can we talk about the Homicide Punk match that wound up in a strip club?
Yes, that was FIP, and we can absolutely talk about that because I don't know if I have it on DVD, but I will
What?
find it.
Yeah.
You haven't heard that story?
I'll show you the
It's
video.
hilarious.
No, but
Not
It's-
now.
it's so
Kids,
great.
Get your parents' permission, but it is pretty hilarious.
It is so funny.
Yes.
In
I'll
a
tell you
real
after.
In a real strip
Yes.
club?
Yes.
Yes.
Did they know?
Yes.
The strip club knows. That you mean.
Oh,
I think they did.
You would
I don't know if the
think so,
strip
but-
club knew,
were
but yes, they knew
so
where they
were
were
the-
going.
So the women were stripping while he
They
They
were
were
still
dancing.
dancing
It was
while
a
the
fall
match
count
was going
anyway.
on.
Like they were still.
It was Falls Count Anywhere, and there they are on Sniffer's Row trying to get a pin.
Yeah, they were still.
Wow,
The
really,
strippers were still
JC?
closed.
Yeah.
They were.
I don't even know what that means, and I don't want to know.
I think it's self.
the main runway.
No, I can figure it out. I don't want to know.
I was going to say it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can figure it out.
Yeah.
Moving on.
This got so awkward so fast that it's so hilarious.
Anyway,
Can we delete this
Let's
part?
get to let's get to less awkward stuff. What's next,
yes.
Jesse?
All right.
Wait, this is less awkward.
Before we get to
more
our
awkward, I
debate
think.
topic, I do want to send a congrats to the Young Bucks who went to Mexico
Woo woo.
and are now tag team champions. I believe is it AAA or
AAA.
AAA? Yeah, I
AAA,
can't remember if
yeah.
it's AAA or CMLL, but wow, they're bringing tag titles from Mexico to AEW, which is fast approaching. Double or Nothing is really not that far away when
It's
you
really
think about
not.
it. So
Jeez,
we're
May-
2 months away.
May 25th?
Yeah.
May 25th. Yep.
Sure, it's not
Wow.
May 19th. I'm kidding.
Okay.
No.
No.
He's doing that on purpose.
I did.
It's my daughter's birthday party.
No, it's Money in the Bank that night too. So
And my daughter's birthday.
yep.
Our daughter.
Now
Who will
we're
probably
getting
get
into a
some
little
money
debate
for her
topic
back.
here. For those that have watched WWE, we knew about the gauntlet match. Kofi had to win 5 wrestlers to win. He would get to WrestleMania. He went through those 5 wrestlers, and when the pin came, I checked the clock. It was 9 minutes till the end of SmackDown. And like, Vince is going to try and find a way to screw him over it again. Sure enough, that's what happened. And out comes Daniel Bryan.
Boo.
Which when Daniel Bryan walked out, I was like, okay, Kofi has to lose because you cannot have your champion,
Look weak.
Luke Week, getting beat by somebody that just went through 5 people for almost an hour, maybe over an hour. I don't even know the timing of the
Yeah, I
match.
can't remember.
I think it was an hour.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
you can't have your men's champion look weak. If you're women's champion, you cannot show her on TV. Also for another day, but
Okay.
That's good.
You're not
Anyway.
wrong. You're not wrong.
yeah.
Big E posted a video on, I don't know if it was Facebook or something, but it
It
appeared
was.
on Facebook.
It ended up on
probably on
Facebook. I think it was on like his
I'm
like.
sure it just went to all
It
his
was
social
on one of his
media,
social
yeah.
media, but
Yeah.
Tommy shared this on Facebook, and I'm going to play it right now. You guys can listen if you haven't heard this yet. I'll probably
It's like
Try
2
and-
minutes long.
I'll try and picture it here, but here we go. So
to contemplate what happened Tuesday night and obviously Kofi's performance and the aftermath and our reaction to all of that, and a little bit of time to reflect too on, I guess, kind of our careers and why we do this. You know, you think of this business to some degree being a meritocracy, that if you work hard, you show up early, you stay late, you do all the right things, you jump through all the right hoops, you're respectful, you don't break the law, that you get good at your craft, that you really hone that you find a place with fans, you separate yourself, you find a niche, you separate yourself from a character perspective, from an in-ring perspective. You do everything, you check all the boxes, you show up in shape, you do everything that's asked of you in this business, that if you do all those things, you have a good chance of making it to the top. But now we understand the game. We see what the game is, that people like us will only get so far, that you can climb the mountain. They'll let you climb the mountain, but as far as getting to the peak and staying at the peak, it's not a thing that people like us, historically, and moving forward clearly, can only get so far. So we've done a lot of cool things here. We've been able to do a lot of things that we never could have imagined we could do, but clearly we are never meant to be more than this. And for people like us, that's not enough. And it will never be enough. So, we got to sit back and think whether, continuing to be gone for 250 days plus a year is worth it, of missing the family time, of doing this to our bodies, leaving a piece of yourself in the ring that you can never get back. All the things that we give, if it's worth it when we can only get this far. So we got a lot of thinking to do. Obviously proud of Kofi, proud of us as a trio, proud of what we've done. But if this is all we ever will be, I don't know if it's worth it.
So, before we get into the debate topic, last week, of course, or maybe for the last couple weeks, Mike has joked the whole racist thing. And we're like, okay, whatever. But this is the reality era of wrestling. Now, of course, after the match, after they had the internet, they had the New Day promo, and they were contemplating leaving WWE kayfabe, because it was WWE branded kayfabe. This was his personal social media for Big E. Sometimes the best things are rooted in realism.
Yes.
Yep.
And we did a little bit of research. Vince McMahon took over basically WWE in 1982 is what we found, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the year.
That's what it said, yeah.
Since then, how many champions have we had?
WWE champions.
WWE champions. We're not counting World Heavyweight Championship.
Specifically the WWE Championship.
Now, the reason we're not counting the World Heavyweight Championship is this. When that was around, we had a second heavyweight championship, and it was treated like a second-class title. And the prime example I can use of this is that when CM Punk won the World Heavyweight Championship twice off of cash-ins, no one really cared. They didn't promo it enough. It didn't mean anything. It wasn't until he won the WWE Championship in his hometown off John Cena that win meant something, that he held it for 434 days. Mm-hmm. So when we look at the history of just the WWE, aka WWF Championship, how many black champions have we had since Vince McMahon took over?
One. Technically.
And yeah, so we have a list here that we wrote down of what you had basically considered, non-Caucasian, maybe probably Western European or European champions.
Yeah.
And there's 9 people on this list that include people that would be Iranian, Samoan, Hispanic, Filipino,
or Indian.
Indian, and then mixed race. So here's the thing. First off, there has not been, according to the list, a wrestler who, I don't want to say this carefully, but would be considered just like full-blooded a black person. Mm-hmm. The two people
never been promoted as a black person.
And that too.
Yeah.
And okay, so it's The Rock, obviously, is the main one. Let's get there
obviously.
first. But
we knew that
because he even came out on social media. I saw this the other. It might have been today actually, saying that he's proud that he is of mixed race. Mm-hmm. His dad was black, his mother was from the Samoan family that's famous in wrestling, so he's mixed. So I'm not trying to say that as any insult. I just it's a mixed race thing. So he is black. It's a part of him too. But it was him, and then I was reading somewhere. So I mean, I could be wrong about this, but this was something I was reading that they were including Reigns through that family too. So if you want to include Reigns, kind of like a stretch, that's 2.
Right.
And that's it. So the list we have since 1982, which is when... So what I read was that in 1979, Vince and his wife...
Vince Sr. you're talking about, right?
No. Vince McMahon and...
Linda,
thank you, Jesus. They started Titan Sports.
Okay.
They founded that company. But they didn't take over the WWE from Vince Sr. until 82.
Okay.
So in 83, we have Iron Sheik, who's obviously of Iranian descent.
I'll note that when Vince Jr. took over. Bob Backlund was the champion.
Right.
He had
Yeah.
been champion since 1981.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Iron Sheik won the championship, and of course, he eventually lost it to Hogan. You don't have another non-Caucasian champion until literally 10 years later with Yokozuna. Now, I'm pretty sure about this. Even though he was promoted as like a Yokozuna sumo wrestler from Japan, he's part of the Samoan family
He is,
as well.
yeah,
He's Samoan,
he's
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And the only close thing you can have before him, if you want to technically count this, was Andre the Giant, who was legitimately from France. But that's
Well, he's from France. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's as close as you can get.
And again, and even that.
He
Like-
wanted just to sell it to Ted DiBiase.
Yeah,
this
he had
is-
a
this is
regret
in
till 30
kayfabe,
seconds.
Obviously, it's part of the storyline.
right
but
after the match, yeah.
Yeah, he did beat Hogan and then sold it to DiBiase and whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a price.
So the next one after that is then The Rock, who wins it multiple times between about 98 and 2002.
I don't know why I didn't put the whole.
Well, then
Yeah.
again, he won it again.
Oh, and then
The
he
whole
came
CM
back
Punk
right.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
the CM Punk
But the
right.
Attitude Era.
But
he was
his
the cornerstone.
main WWE run
Yeah.
between 98 and 2002. After that, you have Eddie Guerrero, who upset Brock Lesnar in 2004, which, was awesome.
He's a major Latino, like in our lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
First
I think
one.
he's got to be the one in when you look at it from our perspective in WWE.
Yeah.
After that, in 2009, so about 5 years later, you have Batista, who's descendant Filipino. I think we looked it
I believe
up.
it was, yeah.
His
Right.
mom's side. No,
Yes, his dad's side. Right?
Dad's side.
Yeah, his dad was like a son of an immigrant, right? So it was like his
Yes.
grandfather.
Now, this next one is interesting.
Ray Mysterio.
That
Okay.
But
Here's the
okay,
thing.
JC, tell him about how.
I'll tell him how this happened.
If you haven't
So,
seen it.
I mean, you should.
we
know
mentioned the
if you don't
CM Punk
know.
title win. It was such a big deal for us. We didn't see that pay-per-view, but we were actually at an ACW show. And I'm
Yeah, I remember
checking
that
what's
now.
the results. Punk wins in Chicago. Leaves with the belt. He's gone. His contract is up. He's leaving with the company. He puts the picture of the belt in his refrigerator.
that was funny.
So the next night on Raw, they start a tournament to crown a new champion. We're not acknowledging CM Punk. He's not the champion anymore. The following week, Rey Mysterio wins that tournament, and not 30 minutes later, gets challenged for the title by John Cena, who had lost to Punk 2 weeks prior. And Cena wins. And then Punk comes back.
So he literally held it for like not even an hour.
Not even an
Not
hour.
even an hour, no.
Because
Now-
kayfabe, Cena was supposed to be fired for losing to Punk. Of course, the whole
Yeah.
powers that be, all that crap, the kayfabe thing that they did.
And so
Yeah.
again, Mysterio did have a few world title runs with this belt, but
Yeah.
as we were talking about, this is the WWE one. So that's 2011. Later that year, Alberto Del Rio does cash in.
Next
Yeah.
month, the next month.
yeah, on Cena. Or on Cena.
No, it was on Punk.
It was on Punk
Because
Punk-
it was-
Punk won.
It was SummerSlam. They did the unification
Right,
because
right.
they acknowledged Cena and Punk as champion.
Yeah, at the same
And
time.
then Kevin Nash attacked Punk. Then you get the cash in.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So he's won it twice in 2011, and then again, like we said, Roman Reigns won it. He's won it a few times. The first time in 2015, he loses it not too long after. Wins it again in December. So he won about 3 times between 2015 and 2016.
Crazy. His most recent title win. His most recent WWE
Well, no,
title
no.
win. We were there for that one. That
Yeah.
was WrestleMania. Yeah, I just realized that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
We're not counting the
No.
Universal
We're
side.
not
Yeah,
counting
okay,
Universal
that's
title.
right,
Yeah, we're not counting
you're
Universal.
right. I keep getting that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last one was Jinder Mahal on his SmackDown run, where he won it, and then right before he was going to go to
His home country, India.
Well, he did go through his home country with
Yeah,
it,
he
right?
did.
Yeah,
Right
oh,
after-
this
he
before
lost
Survivor
it.
Series.
When he came back.
Yeah, before,
Yeah, right before Survivor Series.
Right before he was
was
supposed to
supposed to
wrestle
face
Brock
Lesnar. Yeah,
Lesnar, and
that's what
Lesnar
it
didn't
was.
think he could make money with him.
And so those are the 9 from 1982 till 2019 non-Caucasian people.
And
that
if
have
you're,
won.
and you know how they always talking about how the Universal Championship is supposed to be equal to it or whatever, there has not been anybody.
Well, unless
Sorry.
you count Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, let's get one.
You know,
because it's just been Brock, Roman Reigns, Seth
Finn
Rollins,
Balor,
Finn
KO.
Balor,
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But
That's it,
that's
yeah.
so hard to count with that because it's so new, and then Brock's just held it captive for like
Yeah, that's
months
true.
on end.
Except for that time.
Yeah,
except for that
like-
time he threw it at Vince's face.
Now
Now,
it says Brock's held it. It's not a legit title, but yeah.
Yeah.
so here's the thing. As a character, I think they're being blatant. Like as a character, that Mr. McMahon is racist. Like the character,
The character.
yes, the character,
Character,
Mr.
okay.
McMahon on WWE TV. I think they're just being blatant about it, honestly, without saying it. And I think he's okay with that part of it because he's WWE's biggest villain. He always has been ever since Austin. Austin and him had their feud. He's the owner of the company, and that's kind of all he knows how to do. Every now and then he'll kind of come and be the face.
Yeah.
It doesn't last very long. He just always comes back and screws people over. So honestly, I think character-wise, they're just being blatant about it without it saying it outright. Like, I think that's in the storyline of Kofi Kingston. What other reason do you have to work that hard to keep him out? You know?
Yeah, the
So
whole
storyline-wise.
B+ player thing. You did it once before.
I think.
And how are you going to spin this?
I think
back?
honestly, they weren't ready or prepared to first of all, when they put him in that that match, the chamber match, I don't think they legitimately thought that he was gonna
Get
do
as much
well.
popularity.
Yeah, and
They
get so
didn't-
much behind him that when the match happened and everything, everybody was so behind Kofi that they were like, "Oh man, we got to do something with this." But what do we do?
That's part of it. But
Yeah.
There's a funny video that came out. We all laughed at it, where this one guy is portraying the different black wrestlers in wrestling.
I don't think I've
You
seen
have
I've seen it.
the Jungle Guy.
that. Oh, I
You
haven't seen that.
have
I'm like, I haven't seen
the
that.
rapper kind of crime time guy. You've got
Yep.
the athletic dude. And then you've got the gangster Booker T, Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
That's the stereotype.
Yep.
Look at when Kofi first came in. It was the whole Jamaican thing. He talked with an accent. He fought like this and everything.
Yeah.
And let's face it,
Our truth, he only had his USA. Was it USA?
U.S. Championship recently.
U.S. Championship really for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was champion once before, but that was years ago. So
Yeah,
But it's let's face it, if they've been promoted as black wrestlers, they've only really won mid-card championships and tag team titles, and that's kind of a sad thing.
Or the world heavyweight title.
The world heavyweight title.
Right. There's been more on that side, but again, it's
Latinos and everything.
it was
like
never
that.
treated as the bigger of the two.
Yeah.
Keeping this with minority, and since we're talking about it like this, and you were just talking about the way the characters are portrayed, the thing, and I know we love him for it, but it's always bugged me that Eddie Guerrero, with all his talent, didn't get huge in WWE until he did the lie, cheat, and steal gimmick. Because there's that underlying of you're Hispanic, you're Mexicano, you're not a trustworthy good person. You got and that's just always bugged me. Like Mysterio, I mean, I guess if you're doing the characters for Hispanic, you can be the thug. Because remember Hunico, and then they had those guys.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you can be the luchador. You can wear the mask.
Well, same thing with.
Right.
Or then you get the
kinda
Mexicals.
They kind of did the same thing with Alberto Del Rio. They made him the bad,
Well,
The
I do have to
Like
admit,
rich
Yeah,
Mexican-
so that's actually kind of interesting because I never really liked him, but his character was different for Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
You never
Yeah.
really did see the rich, affluent.
Yeah.
I look down on you.
And
Which
you have
I gotta
I
admit was
have my
interesting.
own announcer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rey Mysterio, he really doesn't have.
I mean, he's just going straight with
He's
the.
just
He was
straight-
just a straight underdog
the
story.
lucha-
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's a straight luchador.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it sucks. I mean, of course, we've all talked about it. Tommy, you're the one that shared this on Facebook. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, so here's my thing. You've had a series of guys who could very easily have been the WWE Championship, and let's start with one of the obvious ones being Booker T. This all goes back to the WrestleMania 19 promo from Triple H that is so cringeworthy now. It's amazing that they got away with it then, that someone like him could never be world champion. First of all, for starters, Booker T should have won that match at WrestleMania 19.
The way it ends too.
The way it ends was so stupid. I still can't watch it to this day. Let's start with that. The second part of that problem is, like you said, we can only play so many characters. Now, I will admit, some people say if they hate that Booker T had to do the King Booker gimmick in order to win the world title. I will let that slide only because at least he wasn't something ridiculously stupid. At least he had this whole Regal King thing going on that was actually entertaining and not stereotypical. It was actually pretty good, and he pulled it off pretty hilariously. Mm-hmm. The New Day is kind of the same way in their own way. Now when they originally did it, I was like everybody else. I was like, this is stupid. When they turned heel and made it work for them, that was good. Mm-hmm. This whole thing with Kofi, and like I said before, as far as now taking out the possible, Mr. McMahon racist aspect of it, it just had no build up to me. Mm-hmm. It had no point to it. there was nothing going in saying that this is the okay. And even more to the point, the whole B+ player thing. That's just what they called Daniel Bryan not 5 years ago, not even that long ago. And he's their world champion. It's the exact same thing you just said. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just because I want to get into something here in a minute about the way this story is being done. Because I actually think if it ends the way we think it's going to end, it's actually being done well.
Well, yeah, if it ends the way I hope it does. Yeah.
What's there right now. In the storyline, the B+ player thing is coming from Daniel Bryan. So I kind of feel like there's a beauty to that in the story of the sense
fair.
that like that's what Daniel Bryan was bridled with.
Yeah.
And so now he's
fair.
turning that around. And that kind of puts the heat on him. Like, whoa, you were there a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
that's fair.
just that part of it.
The key in this story is why is Vince McMahon involved with this?
Yeah.
That is the good
That
question.
is the one.
And I think Tina had something to that. Like they weren't expecting it to happen, so they were just scrambling.
But see, here's the thing to me. I think they should have. Listen to the crowd every single time Kofi has a chance of winning something big. Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, whatever. Mm-hmm. If he's in it, the crowd's behind him. When he was in the chamber match and it was down to him and Daniel Bryan, that crowd was electric. It was like literally the kind of moment that Vince gets hard for. It's like he wants the crowd to sound like that. He just hates it when it's someone he didn't put there. Like, and of course he like when people he doesn't want to be champion, he buries them like Rusev Day, Cesaro.
Go ahead, Tina.
Go ahead.
So, speaking of, how like you're saying all these milestone, like, the pay-per-views and stuff. So my thought process is now, just thinking about this right now, is that what if Kofi doesn't win at WrestleMania, but he wins Money in the Bank?
I think the ship has sailed by then.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
they want to build it up, but you know how they're notorious.
You're going to New York. That's the thing.
I think you're notorious for building up things that take too damn long.
Yeah, but if they miss their shot at WrestleMania, I don't think anyone's going to care anymore. I think officially that's when they're going to be like, okay, seriously, no, Vince doesn't care.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's that they won't care about Kofi.
They'll care about Kofi. They won't care.
Done with the WWE because here you go again, another prime opportunity.
But have they done it before?
Yeah.
Yes, which I feel like they could do that again. Is what I'm saying.
But here's my other argument: Booker T, R-Truth, Ron Simmons have been world champions other places before WWF, whichever one. R-Truth was Ron the Truth Killings in TNA and you should look this up, cut this brilliant promo on Ricky Steamboat about not getting a shot because of his color. It is a brilliant promo. It still holds up today. I advise anyone who can find it. It's usually on YouTube somewhere. Someone always puts it up to go watch it. It's a great promo because at the end, Steamboat caves and says, "You got the title shot," and he beats Kevin Shamrock. And even when he even had the whole gimmick of doing his own theme song and everything, and he still was world champion 2 times in TNA. Mm-hmm. Farouk, for whatever reason, I don't care the logistics behind it. I don't care how. I mean, yes, it's a marketing ploy, but so is all of pro wrestling. So I don't care about that part. Beat Vader, was WCW champion. Booker T was one of the last great pure athletes that they had in that company, especially in 2000 to 2001. So yeah, they put the belt on him multiple times. I don't care. He still won it. You don't have a lack of talent of any color in today, and that's why I'm kind of glad Mustafa Ali, who is a practicing Muslim, God bless him, do what you do. He said that Road Dogg took a shot on him because he said, I don't want to do like a heel gimmick just because I'm Muslim, and Road Dogg said, let's give this a shot, and he said he gambled on him and said and it worked. Why can't that? I mean, and I'm not knocking Mustafa Ali's hustle or his talent or the fact that he doesn't deserve to be here. He's proven himself. That's fine. Kofi has proven himself for 11 freaking years. When this guy was saddled with weird gimmick after weird gimmick after
random tag
teams,
making fun of it in the time machine.
And then
thing.
That time machine thing was fantastic.
Then Shawn Michaels calling him out about his Jamaican accent.
Yeah,
he just dropped that out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone should have had at least like a screw it. I'd have taken a 30-minute title run, like with Rey Mysterio. At least with Rey Mysterio, he had like 2 of the world titles under his belt, and like at this point, he's a bona fide legend. I mean, like,
I'll even go for the Zack Ryder
one day,
Continental title thing.
So
getting his music in WrestleMania.
But
yeah.
and also, okay, so the thing here. So here's another thing. In the eyes of like fans, guys like Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and even like I even include Rob Van Dam, that's never needed a world title to be like considered the best in the world. And even in the eyes of the WWE, because they'll point out like, oh, they're like the best guys never win the world title until they actually do. You don't hear that with Kofi Kingston. Mm-hmm. You don't hear that with like guys like pick another one. You know, honestly, Ziggler. Well, Ziggler's world title reigns are so laughable. It's like they're not even worth mentioning that because they were.
But he was really good.
But his cash in post WrestleMania is
his first cash in was one of the best ones,
yes.
and the fact that went nowhere still pisses me off to this
Agreed.
day.
Agreed.
That now that's a travesty against the white guy. I was like, that was not fair at all, dude. He might as well be a black wrestler with as however they treated him. Like this whole thing, it irks me on several levels, only because it's like, because even when guys of my color get the typical gimmicks, still kind of goes nowhere. Mm-hmm. Crime Time could have been a lot of fun, but it went nowhere.
Should have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, but it went nowhere.
Yeah,
and they broke up the tag team for stupid reasons.
Yeah.
Booker T should be a multiple-time world champion WWE by now. He should have won that belt at least 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. Easy. Yeah. And The Rock I do count because of his dad and everything, but even his dad I think should have had more of a legacy than what he got in WWE.
It's true.
I know he was older in his career, but the one that really disappointed me was Farouk.
Yeah, Farouk definitely disappointed me.
When he came in
with the Nation.
If you remember, no. So like when he first came into WWE.
Oh yeah.
So this was
pre-Nation.
This was at the tail end of the mid '90s when WWE was all about weird characters.
Yeah.
So he came in with some weird like Roman gladiator gimmick with Sonny. I don't know if y'all remember.
I remember
pictures, yeah.
And he had like an egg helmet on, and it was really bad.
That was horrible.
So eventually got to the Nation, did all that stuff. Then he got after that, eventually he got into the
Acolytes,
the APA. But I mean, again, he was older. I get that. So of the two, though, Bradshaw breaks off, has a great singles career, becomes world champion. I really don't know why Farouk got a run as a single. Like I know he was older at the end of his career,
but he could have had one more. He wasn't done. He wasn't completely destitute at the time.
But now, what do we remember? What is everybody remember?
His
Farouk for now?
catchphrase.
Damn.
Yeah. But on that same token, Mark Henry should have won it a few times.
Mark Henry is very much deserving. Yes.
Mark Henry should have been at least a 3-timer.
Especially when he hit that Hall of Pain, and it was just like
the Hall of Pain thing should have been what
should
have been what catapulted him into it. I mean, because listen to go back and watch when he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Randy Orton. Listen to the pop. There was people who he was a heel. People legitimately wanted him to win that belt. They didn't care.
His turn on Cena and his fake retirement speech.
That should have been it.
That's one of the
he should have been the one to dethrone Cena right then and there. He should.
Well, can we go back to the fact that we talked about this before, that Rusev has been basically and Shinsuke have basically been pre-show,
and Cesaro,
Mr. Pre-show. And
Cesaro's interesting one.
Especially like talking about Rusev. Rusev's lost so much weight. Just like, he says you come in shape, you come in early, you do what you're told, you stay out of, well, I don't know if they stayed out of trouble. Most of the time it was Lana that got in trouble. Yeah. But it was
never nothing like horrible though.
But you're also
getting illegal trouble.
But you're also thinking of the fact that other people have gotten in trouble and they, in a sense, got rewarded still.
Yeah.
Usos.
Randy Orton.
Yeah.
We could spend all night on that list.
So I'm just saying, like, it's interesting the fact that yes, they did work hard and stuff but Rusev too has been working hard.
Yeah.
And he's, like I said, he's lost all that weight.
Because see this,
and then Shinsuke also, like, you want to keep him around. For the contract, and yet they're keeping him in pre-show.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of that.
Yeah.
But my thing is with Vince. He has this ego problem, which has always been his issue, of not booking guys who are over, but booking who he wants to get over. That was the problem with Roman Reigns originally, not with Reigns himself, with how he was booked.
How he was booked, exactly.
I have no, and honestly, I'm one of the few people in the planet who really doesn't have that big a problem with John Cena. I never did. How he was booked does irritate me. John Cena himself, love the guy, love his work.
Yeah.
But my thing is with Vince, the few times he's let things happen organically like they should, were CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, to an extent Stone Cold, because I don't think he was his first choice originally, really.
No, it was supposed to be Triple H and then the MSG incident.
But like in those years, like when Stone Cold really got popular, Bret Hart was still there, Shawn Michaels, of course, but Stone Cold gained his own traction and was like writing his own ticket. His promo that he cut is what made him just propelled him to a status like no one was ready for. No one saw that coming. But Vince capitalized on it. Vince would capitalize on these guys. I think if Vince would have capitalized on this, we wouldn't have AEW. New Japan wouldn't be as hot as it is if he had capitalized on this stuff, but he wouldn't. So everyone started looking for something else. So now, in a sense, Vince created his own enemies. He created AEW. He let New Japan get as big as they are. He let Ring of Honor become the major competition that they are. They went from kind of being the quote unquote breeding ground for new stars to being the place where the new stars are want to be and are growing. Jay Lethal was, I think, offered a contract to WWE and he turned them down because and why wouldn't he? He didn't want to deal with that crap. Why go be somewhere he'll get lost in the shuffle, or where he could stay and be the megastar he already is? And now because of that, New Japan and Ring of Honor have sold out Madison Square Garden despite Vince trying to stop them. But it's a hell of his own making. And unless he decides to say, okay, let's just let this stuff happen and let's guide it the way we want it to, he kills their pushes dead. People don't care about it anymore, which is why guys like, I'm sure that, because I know AJ Styles had to resign recently, I bet they backed up the truck full of money to keep him.
Oh yeah.
I bet Cody and Geto and New Japan were calling AJ's phone off the hook. And I bet they were ready to fly their bags of money to him. And I bet Vince had just drive like 3 U-Hauls full of $100 bills and say, please, for the love of God, don't leave.
Yeah.
And Shinsuke, if Shinsuke Nakamura leaves, which I kind of hope he does, he can go to New Japan and go right back to where he started, because Tanahashi, Okada, Jay White, Naito will all be there waiting for him. And that is a series of dream matches now that people want. Tanahashi will be rematches, Okada will be rematches, Jay White and Naito will be matches everyone wants to see now, because those guys got hot while he was gone. And but Vince, just is set in his ways. This isn't the 80s anymore. It's not the 90s anymore. You can't play the game the same way you did in those days. Yep. The business evolved because the fans changed. The fans have accepted there are some things do
you think that sometimes that they're doing that old 80s, 90s thing with the whole Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte thing?
Oh, that's a whole other story. They're messing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
they're messing that one up too. That's what I'm saying. But like they're trying to do something like they used to do with someone else.
Yeah.
And kind of move it up to this time, but it doesn't make sense.
So here's the thing with wrestling: you can only recycle so many storylines, and I get there's only so many stories you can tell, but at the same time. And I hate being this guy. I hate being the New Japan ROH, self-proclaimed praiser. But I got to do it.
That's fine. That's why we have you on the show.
That works for me. Thank you.
And you're our friend.
We need your perspective, Tommy.
But okay,
and
so
you check my grammar.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm happy to do it. So okay, here was the storyline of Jay White when he came back from Excursion and became the Switchblade. Here's the storyline. First, he challenged Tanahashi. Didn't go his way. So he challenged Omega when Omega tried to get him to join the Bullet Club. So he joined Chaos to take on the Bullet Club and get the U.S. title off of Omega. And he warned Okada that eventually I'm coming after the heavyweight championship you have. He said that. So the whole year goes by, and eventually he does do it, but he does it in a way that breaks off in such a fantastic way, no one saw it coming. He did do what he said, but he did it surprisingly because he took Geto and Jado with him, and they joined Bullet Club after the Elite were kicked out, which, again, no one saw coming. And all that led to Jay White continually saying, I'm the best in this company, and beating everybody to prove it. That was his story. That's still his story. And because now all he will say is, I beat these guys, or if it's no one he's beaten yet, he said, I can beat them. I've beaten these guys who are better than them, so I can beat them too. That's his whole story. And it's a brilliant gimmick. His catchphrase is "breathe with the switchblade." Who cares what that means? The whole crowd says it when he does it.
Yeah.
The Bullet Club believes it when he says it. It's like he talks and people are listening. Everyone in the New Japan Cup, there's no money on the line. There's no, if I got to win to save my girlfriend from this guy who's trying to. No, they're just saying we want to beat Jay White. We want the New Japan Cup to go to G1 Supercard and prove we're the best in the world, to beat the guy who's the IWGP Heavyweight Champion right now. And let's even take the most recent thing that just changed: Villain Enterprises versus GOD.
Yep.
There's no storyline going into that. There's nothing online except two sets of tag team titles, and claiming to be the best tag team in the world. I don't need anything more than that. Would I have liked to see GOD versus Briscoes more? Yes. But after the street fight we got from Brody King and PCO, I'm intrigued by what they'll do against Girls of Destiny. And even with matches with predictable outcomes, which I think GOD will win that match, I'm calling that right now, it could still be a great match. And I think people will forgive a lot of predictability for a great match. However, they will not forgive a lot of predictability if it's for dumb reasons. Going back to Kofi Kingston.
Yep.
All this stuff. And again, I'm saying I really think this has to come to a head at WrestleMania. If it does not, the fans will feel so betrayed. It'll be kind of like some WCW stuff they did in the late 90s, early 2000s. That'll be just their limit. And this is not the year for WWE to do something that's even closely resembling WCW. Not with Madison Square Garden selling out. To what people still consider an independent company, and what people consider not even a major promotion because it's in Japan, but an independent company, quote unquote, and a not a major promotion, quote unquote, have sold out Madison Square Garden and did it in 19 minutes. Mm-hmm. All Elite, a company that doesn't even have a TV show yet. So for the second time, not announced anyway, it doesn't have a show yet, whatever. Yeah. For the second time, has sold out a venue. The first time wasn't even part of their official show. It was just an event they just threw because, screw it, we want to do wrestling. For the second time, they were selling out an event and did it in record time. This is not the year to say, oh, we can still do whatever you want. No, you cannot. You absolutely cannot, because everyone is gunning for that top spot. No, they won't get it right away. They won't. Everyone won't jump up this year and take WWE's top spot. They've been running this game for too long. They're not going to lose it in a year. But WCW was too hot at the time to lose. 3 years later, they were done.
Okay.
Circling back to that, and you mentioned it. We don't get Daniel Bryan happening organically if CM Punk doesn't quit. And
this is true.
We don't get this Kofi debate if Mustafa Ali doesn't get hurt.
This is true.
So sometimes with these organic things, you got to run with it. Mike, you said it before on the show. You got to run with what's hot right now.
Becky's
got to be the main event.
And it's funny because something like that will happen, and some people say, "Oh, well, they had this long-term booking," but then you turn around half the time, and it seems like they're just changing everything every week. So, when something like this pops up, I don't know why you don't jump on it.
Yeah.
It's like why don't they ever put the Universal title on Brock Lesnar to begin with?
Yeah.
He never should have had it at all.
Yeah.
And definitely not as long as he has.
Absolutely.
But to kind of finish this off, I really do think if it does get to WrestleMania and Kofi does get his match and does get the title, then I'm going to say this has been actually a brilliant setup.
If they do that,
if it's done.
I agree. If they do that, I will 100% agree with you.
But if he loses or doesn't get the shot,
then
you are doing this when WrestleMania is in New York. Let's be fair, those are the toughest fans you've ever had.
Right after Chicago.
They will let you know. No, Chicago,
Do
Philly. He values more than anything what
Chicago,
New York
Philly,
is.
New York.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He values
you're
that more than anything.
right.
Do you think that they would somehow wait and do it at Monday Night Raw then?
That
If
would
he
be-
doesn't,
No.
if,
Well,
he,
Could
lose,
they?
if he
Yes.
loses, at the WrestleMania,
That's
The worst thing
still risky.
The worst thing he would want is thousands of people in New York booing WrestleMania as it goes off the air.
So-
Because if this match isn't even the main
that's
event,
happened before.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me say to you,
No, no.
could it happen? Yes, and I wouldn't put it past him. Should it happen? No.
No,
but if this match isn't last, which it probably won't be, they'll just shit on the rest of the show.
They will.
Especially if Becky doesn't win.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
Becky doesn't win, they're gonna
Because even then,
riot.
that's not a sure thing right now.
Because
That would have been a warning soon.
honestly, if Becky
If
doesn't
you still
win,
want to do it tonight. But yeah,
honestly, if
okay.
Becky doesn't win, I think they're going to cancel. They're going to. You thought they canceled the subscription to WWE Network before. I bet if Becky and Kofi do not win at WrestleMania, you're going to see people just drop. I'm actually, to be perfectly honest, I'm canceling mine if they don't win.
I like mine too much. I like the show.
Nah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, I might not, but I don't know.
If
if
you
one of them
imagine-
wins, I'm keeping it.
Could you imagine if Brock wins and Kofi? And
Hell
like
no,
that is
man.
worst case scenario. Paige, Captain Marvel.
Worst case scenario. Here's the worst case scenario of WrestleMania. This is the absolute worst case scenario.
What is that?
Lesnar wins. Kofi is not even there. Actually, Charlotte wins. No offense to Charlotte, but if Becky or Ronda,
If
don't
Charlotte
win,
wins by
Becky.
pinning Ronda.
No, pinning Becky.
if Charlotte was pinning Becky,
think
that's
that would be
worse.
worse.
That would be worse.
Okay.
that would be
Yeah,
worse.
yeah.
If those three things happen, then this will go down as the worst WrestleMania, and everyone will say that.
And we haven't even had Battle Royales announced.
And the
yet.
funny part is, they will forgive WrestleMania 27. They will forgive every WrestleMania of their sins. But like, if those three things
That'll
happen,
be our rating. After
I was just
Will
gonna
we
say-
forgive December to Dismember?
I was just gonna say that.
Will they forgive-
They'll forgive December to dismember.
hell no, there's no forgiving December to Dismember.
All right.
Short of
So-
Jesus himself pardoning diseases.
We don't talk a lot about controversial topics on here.
We try not to.
You know,
Yeah.
but this is
But
brought up. This is
most
the
of this was
reality era.
facts, though. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
facts. Now, I don't know if Big E's thing is kayfabe.
I
It
feel
very
like it
well
has to
could
be. I
It
feel
has
like-
to be on some level.
I'm sure it's both.
But
like,
some of it is rooted in truth.
I think it's kayfabe, but
it's
it is a
rooted-
frustration.
it's rooted
Yeah.
in truth.
New Day started as your stereotypical preach,
and that's
positivity
why I
thing.
think it's the truth, the butt part. It's like, as I think, because it's rooted in truth, because they started out with that dumb gimmick, and they were like,
Yes.
why are we doing this?
But
You know,
they
so.
made it their own.
Yeah.
They made it so much great. Dude, Up Up Down Down is such a huge channel because Xavier Woods is a part of the
Well,
New Day.
also think about the fact that they gave R-Truth such bull gimmicks, but like he's having so much fun with it that they had no choice but to let
Yeah.
the crap get over.
Sometimes you let things happen and you run with it. Those are the best things to happen. And if you truly are listening to the fans, like you said in that promo, there's certain things that have to happen. And if they're getting to there, great. But you're bringing race into it. That's a touchy subject,
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially nowadays where so many people are easily offended by things.
Yeah, that's that is the danger of them doing this. And if that's what their goal is to try to toe that line, God bless them, but
I
be
think it
careful.
always is, yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever your thoughts are, everybody out there in the interwebs, let us know.
Please do.
What you feel about it. Does racism exist? Feel free to comment below. Send us a tweet.
That's a broad
Sorry.
statement.
Does racism exist in wrestling?
And how do
in
you feel
WWE?
about
And how
it?
do you
Yeah.
feel about it? How do you feel the way things? Sorry, it's late.
Yes,
We're shooting this late. Yeah.
Yeah,
That could be very lengthy.
it's let's have a healthy debate. Let's not troll people.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right, now, do we still want to do 1 minute warning tonight?
If not, then I would like to give my hot take as just a hot take.
Okay.
Let's just do
So
that.
let's do that.
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it. No, Mike has been.
I think we've all said a lot.
Yeah. So yeah.
Mike has
go
been
ahead.
teasing his hot take for a while. Go for it.
Just real quick. Y'all know how I feel about, and we all kind of feel similarly about the way the build up for Becky, Ronda, Charlotte has been.
Yeah.
They took something that was so simple and complicated the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And given what we were just talking about, I think at this moment right now, I would rather Kofi Daniel Bryan main event the show and end it.
Okay.
I don't know how they got me there with something that was so amazing with Becky
Gotcha.
becoming the man and just everyone getting behind her and Ronda just being Ronda, and the truck just
The truck. Yeah.
and this time don't let it land and say like a glove, like it crashes. I don't know. It's just that buildup has been so muddied, and even this last week with some of the stuff that happened with her husband and all this, and the breaking kayfabe stuff as her character. I just can't. It irks me because you can do it in a way that you don't just literally come out and say your armbar doesn't work. It's fake. Well, you're going to be in a match like Tina was saying, and then your armbar doesn't work the same way. It just annoys me the way
doesn't
they
do her armbar the correct way either.
Yeah, the way they're breaking kayfabe or shooting, it just bugs me. And I think I'd rather at this point see the Kofi story play out to the main event.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but I think I'd rather at this point.
I think it's lost its luster since they got Charlotte involved in the match.
Yes.
That's just the honest truth. and that maybe no people don't want to see it as a main event anymore because of that.
But notice the common denominator in both those things was when Vince got involved.
Yes.
Yes, agreed.
And he
Just
literally
saying.
almost did the exact same thing to both of them.
Yeah.
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 And he thinks it. Yeah. It's.
Well,
All right,
we
that
still
was
have a
my
couple more weeks till WrestleMania.
But
How about the Iconics, huh?
How about that?
actually,
Yeah.
Let's just watch
Crazy.
G. Let's just watch G1 Supercard and forget that the next thing's even happening
Well-
the following day.
WrestleMania weekend is 2 weeks away, and say what you will, whether you hate WWE, whether you love WWE, WrestleMania is the center of the wrestling universe because they don't just have access. Ring of Honor for the past few years has followed them around wherever the WrestleManias they have, and now they're doing.
So
it
has
G1
everybody.
Yeah, everybody has WrestleCon. We went to WrestleMania a few years ago, and afterward at midnight, we went to an independent show that night.
And we saw Johnny Gargano.
Johnny
and
Gargano,
Chance Ray, Sammy Callahan.
Sammy Callahan,
Does he have it?
Joey Ryan. Saw our first live dick flip. It was great.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake was
Yeah.
there. Getting
Who
to
else
meet
was
him.
there?
JC and guys, don't forget, we saw Joey Ryan when he was still doing the Magnum.
Yes, we
PI
still
gimmick.
saw years
Actually,
ago.
it's funny you
I have a
If
picture
it-
from the.
It's funny you
That's
posted
right,
it because
I
like
remember that.
I actually posted a picture. I was like, I think I've met him like 6 times already because I met him like when he was doing that, when he was that 70s guy or whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
I
Like,
haven't taken a picture with him in his newer gimmick, but I do remember the first Wrestle Circus show.
yeah,
He was there and he was
it was hilarious.
I remember it was funny. We went to that independent show, and I remember sitting next to a bunch of guys that were from Europe. I think they were from Germany.
Oh, because they
Spoke pretty good English because they went to WrestleMania. They heard about the show. They wanted to go see it. And Joey Ryan came out, and I heard them talking to each other. Is that the guy from the video? Or the Japanese guy flips him with his penis? And when he did it to Jessica James, they were like, oh, my God. They were so excited to get to see it live.
Yeah,
And I can't lie. I was excited to see it live, too.
That's
It was
great.
the greatest thing.
That's
So-
great.
That's true. I do remember them. They were like, oh my
Yeah.
God. And they had their beers in their hands.
And prior to that spot, Jessica James had she yelled out, I don't want to touch your dick. She yelled that out, which was hilarious.
That's
Whoa,
that's so
whoa,
great.
whoa.
Yeah.
Too much.
It's a dick flip. It's fine. So.
That's hilarious.
Anyway,
It's his
Whoa.
pee party.
getting on to it. WrestleMania weekend is
I'm
stacked.
not going to say it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. So next week, we are going to be previewing the Ring of Honor New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Supercard because they should have everything set by then. early
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
They got to work about visa issues and get people over here.
Well, that should be okay, but at this
Yeah.
point because since the shutdown's over.
Yeah. So we're kind of splitting the preview show up into 2 basic episodes. We're going to have the G1 Supercard preview next week. The week after, we'll preview NXT TakeOver New York. I think I call it New York or Brooklyn again. I have no idea.
I think it's New York.
New York, NXT TakeOver New York, and WrestleMania 35.
Yep.
And then the following week, we will recap.
Which will
all
take
3
like
shows.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we're gonna be pretty tired.
And it'll take us like 2 hours to talk about it because there's so many damn matches.
Yeah.
So rather than do one long show with all 3 previewing, we're gonna kind of split it up. And the G1 Supercard on its own deserves its own show.
And for
right
those
now.
for those still wondering, yes, the New Japan Cup is still going on. The finals are this coming Sunday, March 24th. Of
So
course,
we'll know who's wrestling Jay
Yeah,
White.
so
then.
we will know who's taking on Jay White in at G1 Supercard.
Yep.
Please, for love of God, Okada. Sorry.
Follow our Twitter account at CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel and definitely leave a comment about what we talked about. And of course, everybody point to the top. CCG.WrestleCast@gmail.com. You can even email your thoughts if you'd wish to do it anonymously. Feel free to, and we'll read some of them next week. And I won't mention your name.
Anonymously.
Yes, anonymously.
That was great.
Tinaism.
Time to go.
Tinaism. Yes, time to go. It's
Tinaism.
been a long night. Definitely follow the Geekcast. The ultimate
The matter of the fact.
the ultimate tournament of Villain Madness is still going on. We are down to the final 4, so definitely go vote on the Geekcast Facebook page.
And that's
so.
not a spoiler. No, that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
No, but if you're gonna make it a Tina-ism, you go. That's not a spoiler. That's a prediction.
I don't know what I'm saying.
She owns it. That's all we know.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
and
Dobe.
Dope. This is Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
That's Mike.
Yo.
My beautiful wife Tina.
Bye guys. Oh,
I-
and hashtag math.
Hashtag man. Hashtag
Forgot
man.
that.
Always.
We never said that the whole show.
No. And I'm JC. And until next week, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People
are
are
fake.
fake.
Hey yo, subscribe to the channel by clicking right here.
Or if you want to watch more videos, click right here.